following is a presentation of TFNN. Before 9 with John Logan. 9 minutes on the stock markets before 9 a.m. every trading day. Call now, toll free, 877-927-6648 or internationally, 727-445-1044. Now, John Logan.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me this morning. Let's get some ground covered. And my God, we've got some great news out of France for the markets. I don't think it's going to hold. Here's the euro. Here's the daily on the euro. Just kind of launched after we had bounced off those weekly unfair lows. I want to focus on this for a second. And the dollar, this is pretty much going to rule the roost here. I'm using a chicken reference here. Here's the weekly on the euro. So this is kind of where the support, higher lows. I hadn't been a huge fan of being long the euro, but, you know, again, you've got to have those weekly stakes in the ground to really get jiggy about getting short again below 105.86. Thank God that didn't happen. And you have used the launching pad. Actually, last week, this is our daily, kind of broke ground here, used that as support to move a little bit higher. And here's where we're at. So we reached a high, it looks like, of 109.33. So let's just kind of go back to the weekly and reference this. You know, still in the big bad weekly middle of the balanced area here on the euro. I mean, I don't know if we're going to head higher. This seems kind of like everybody was on the wrong side of the trade situation as far as the euro goes. I'm going to reference the dollar. And I do think we're going to settle back on the euro. But, you know, how do you make money with that idea? Here's the dollar. You've got some resistance at 99.63.64 up top. I think if we can get a retest up there, maybe the euro will come back a little bit. That'll be a sell point for the dollar. Not exactly. I haven't been exactly happy about being long the dollar lately, and we're back in the balance area. So you've got a great kind of dive in retest area at 99.63. That's the big number there. Let's take a look at gold. And as we look at gold, I'll make sure. Okay. As we look at gold, we basically have pulled back into that area and pierced it, that daily unfair low 1272 or 1273, kind of rallying back up a little bit. This is why I'm not so excited about the euro continuing to climb. I mean, gold's hanging in there for the most part, so to speak. You've got a big inflection point at 1260.5 and one at 1273. Kind of right in that Goldilocks area. We reached a low this morning of 1266. So in my opinion, I think this is still kind of buy the pullback on gold. The 10-year, you know, we reached those highs the other day. We talked about being able to short and waiting patiently until we got up to that 126.23 area. That's still the case. We're kind of back down. S&Ps are up huge. And here's the situation on the 10-year, 125.20, actually reversed since the opening. So I'd actually be buying this above 125.20. It seems like the markets may actually, I mean, even though they were up significantly on the S&Ps, it seems like we could actually kind of meander around here and maybe even have a little bit of a reversal on this news, kind of sell the news situation. Big numbers on the S&P 20 up top, 2386. Keep that in mind. And your breath calculations will be off the charts today. But the big number down below now, 2359.20 on the S&Ps. Going overseas for just a second here, China coming down into those new weekly unfair lows on a big, on a very thin profile here, 34.21, kind of an inside box here. So you're selling outside 34.21 and buying breakouts above 35.20 on the Shanghai. This is the trade that's really interesting to me. This copper trade that never seemed to get his head back above 2.577. I'm starting to now look at this with a little bit of reversal attitude here. kind of closing below, consolidating 25.77, we may actually be in for some more downside now. And as a trader, I know I've been talking about waiting to get back above 22.577, but now it looks like we're going to be able to look at this with a short-minded attitude, really. That dollar's kind of bringing me around to that, so to speak. Let's take a look at the XLE really quick. So here's the drill here. We had talked about possibly looking at 68.45 as support. Now we've pierced that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We're trading up 68.55 right now. So we talked about trying to use this as support last week, 68.45. We're kind of back above there. That's the XLE price. We want to look at crude really quick. Get the right contract up here. And as we look at crude, there's really nothing to hang on to down here. But the XLE showing a little bit of relative strength. I don't mind trying to pick a battle there and maybe looking at it from the long side. A couple other things we wanted to look at here. We're going to take a look at November beans really quick. This has been, man, wow, all over the place lately. Here's the daily. Getting back above 960.5 there, or 961. But I wanted to point out something that's pretty cool here. Now you've got some, and you're right in the middle of that balance there. You've got pretty big support, 978, 980 up top, and 950.5 down below. I don't see any edge here trading this until you get into one of those inflection point ranges. So that's the drill there. Couple of stocks we want to just look at. Got some action obviously on Apple this morning. Volatility, no dice on the downside here for guys who wanted this to come down. We're trading about 144 right now, so we've reached up top 143.42. This is the big number down below still, 138.33. That's where you're going to be buying support on Apple. Amazon. Gapping up this morning with the market 909. So, when do you start shorting this? You don't. You got to be. I had some emails about this. You got to be prepared to just be patient if you're looking to buy this or short this now. Wait for some new information on Amazon. Here's the daily. And that's where we're at on the daily relative to the weekly on Amazon. All right, you guys need to stay tuned for Larry. I'm sure he's up next, as usual. Steve Rhodes, Basil, David White, the rest of the gang on TFNN, and I think Tom's updates. All right, we'll pick it up again tomorrow, guys.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.